So this is a video that's going to demonstrate how to effectively perform what's known as a hip hinge. Throughout this program, you're going to see a lot of movements on your plan that require you to be able to perform a hip hinge movement to be able to progress with the exercise. So what's a hip hinge? I'm going to show you now with Chris. So if Chris turns round, essentially a hip hinge is a movement that comes only from the hip. So with a little soft bend in the knee, Chris is now going to think about pushing his bum back. So I want you to imagine that my arm is now an arrow and it's pushing in that direction. So that's how you perform a hip hinge. A lot of people don't know how to perform this movement. So we're going to show you two really simple ways of making sure you can effectively perform this movement. So find yourself a rack in the gym, or you can do this against a wall if you're at home or even in the gym. So what we're going to do is Chris is now going to perform that movement again, and what he's looking for is to make connection with the rack at the back. So again, essentially what he's doing is he's putting his bum, his glutes, on that rack, and when he feels that make connection with his body, he knows that he is now in an effective hip hinge movement. The hamstrings are engaged, and then what he can think about doing is squeezing the glutes and going forwards. So that's tip number one. Now the second tip I've got for you, most gyms will have what's known as a resistance band in them nowadays. So against a rack, if Chris just steps out for me, we're going to loop this around. So all you have to do is put that around the rack and pull it through like this. Now with this one, we're going to now place this up and over Chris's body and around his hip. So as he now moves away from the resistance band, he's now created what's known as a line of force. So basically something is pulling him backwards now. So again, he's going to go into that movement, but he's going to allow this band to pull his hips. So his hips know what direction to actually move in. And this is another really good way of teaching you how to perform an effective hip hinge.